But I used to go to all the shows, and there was one guy I used to hear about, Gary LaFontaine. And finally I got to meet him, and what a gentleman he was. So I went out right outside, and his flies are unique, very unique. And I went out and got his book, Trout Flies by Gary LaFontaine. And I tied a lot of them, and you know what? I caught fish on them, and they're fun to tie. One of the ones that we're going to tie today, and it is called the Airhead. It's a pretty unique looking fly, and you know, it floats like a cork. And when I'm out west, or on the Delaware, or on the Housatonic, or the Farmington, I'll use this and have a trailing nymph off the bottom. And it's big enough that it will hold up a pretty heavy nymph. And plus also, fish hit it. I think they take it for stonefly. But whatever they take it for, they hit it. So I'm happy about it. Unfortunately, Gary got sick and he passed away way too soon. I met him a few times, and it was a shame. But I honor him by tying his flies. So let's get to the vise and tie us up one. So, guys, this is one of my favorite flies because it is one of my favorite tires. And it's very unique in the sense that it's very hard to find. Shops don't carry it. It's so strange. And yet, it catches fish. And it floats really well. What we are using right now is, I'm going to use some brown thread. I'm also using some, this is a long shanked nymph hook, or a short, it's a size 12. I'm going to use a little deer hair. I'm going to stack it in my hair stacker. I'm going to use a little bit of dubbing, rabbit dubbing. And then I'm going to use the foam. This is packing foam that you get when you buy your electronics. And I stripped it out. I have 4 pieces there. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put on a little, and you know, you could change it up. You don't have to follow exact recipe. In fact, I like this because I think it works much like a stonefly. So I'm going to take a nice bunch for my tail, a little bunch of deer hair, you know, and I'm going to hold it, right? And I'm going to take my comb and I'm going to brush out all the soft fuzzies, really get rid of all those soft fuzzies, you know. And let's see. Yeah, I don't even need that much. This is all I want. Oh. I'm going to put it in my hair stacker. And the way to do that is you just swirl your deer hair into the stacker, drop it in, and tap it a few times. And tap it a little bit that way so they all drop down, and carefully pull it out. And you can see that the tips are all aligned. I'm going to measure it. I want it to come out about 1/2 inch. So I'm going to pull down, straight down. And if I find my hair flaring too much, do a couple of loose wraps just to catch it up. And then tie it all down. Clean it up. Now I'm going to bring my thread back, not all the way, because I'm going to put some dubbing on here. And the key is light. Everybody puts too much dubbing on. I'm going to pull back a little bit so you can see it. People put too much dubbing, and it should be light. apply it light. You can see how little I actually use. And I'm going to start wrapping forward. And I'm going to put a little bit more dubbing on. I can always add more dubbing. It's easier to add dubbing than it is taking it off. I just want to go up a little bit further. Okay, now I'm going to take my pieces. They don't have to be too big. And I'm going to tie one on this side. And one on this side. One on top. And one on this side. Now I'm going to take another piece of deer hair. Push it all out. And take my stacker. Swirl it in there. Drop it in. See how nice and even those tips are? I'm going to measure it. I want it to go back just about to the tail. And I'm going to tie it in. Now, if you see it flaring, just do a couple of loose wraps right at the base. And that brings it down. And then oh, it looks pretty good. take a little more dubbing. I'm just going to cover up these butts. Okay. And just wrap back a little bit. I'm going to start pulling all these back. And I'm going to lasso them. And do a whip finish. Now, I'm going to trim these. And that's the airhead. You can see that. It is really, it floats like a cork. It's strange looking, but let me tell you, this packing material is really pretty cool, and I've used it for several different flies. Always to look outside the box. Gary Fontaine, he taught flies. He was very unique in his tying. He has some strange looking flies, but you know what? He studied, and this is what he caught all his fish on. He was pretty innovative. So I enjoyed his company. So until next week, tie lines, everybody.